Hey guys, so with topic 10, we're working with square root functions. So that's exciting. It's a different function. We work with quadratics, we've worked with exponential, absolute value, linear. So now we're working with the square root function. Example 1, if you can see right here, it says example 1, key features. So we're going to learn all about the key features. That's our entire topic. So what are the key features of f of x equals the square root of x? So I want you to make sure you get every part of this down. We're going to be graphing, we're going to be analyzing, domain, range, the works. All right, so first thing I want you to look at is, say you don't know how to do something, there's always a table of values. So whenever you see the square root of x in an equation, that means it's a square root function. Very complicated. So make a table and graph the function is our go-to. Notice this table of values. It's chosen, our domain is chosen particularly. Start with 0 because we can take the square root of 0. And look, 1, square root of 1, square root of 4, square root of 9, square root of 16, all gives us whole numbers. Say we had picked like a 2. Square root of 2 is an estimate because it's irrational. So yeah, the square root of 2, if you look, when your y is, when your x is 2, the square root of 2 is like 1.4 or something around there. But that's hard to graph. So that's why we chose these very particular domain values. And then when you plot those points, you're going to notice that it makes this like slight curve. I like to call it like the top of the R. If you're thinking of an R, the top of the R is what all square root functions should look like. Okay. So make sure you make that table, you graph it, and show those 4 points, and then make it look like the top of an R. Pause the video when you're done, hit play. So some other things we want to talk about. The domain. The domain can't be more than 0, and let's think about why that is. It has to be at least 0. But why can't it be -1 or -2, -3, -4? Well, if we put those numbers under the radical, you would get this irrational number, because it's not even irrational, it's an imaginary number, because you can't take the square root of a negative. And that's what it says here, because non-negative numbers have a real square root. So only positive numbers. Actually, 0 and positive. So non-negative numbers is what that means. Since the square root of a number cannot be negative, let's think about the range values. Well, the range value has to be, it's our y's, they're going to all be more than or equal to 0. So again, the range is also f of x or y is greater or equal to 0. All right, so the minimum point is 0, 0. The curve slopes upward because it's that top of that R. Okay, so all of these facts, domain, range, the minimum point is 0, 0, the curve slopes upward. You should have all that down. All right, so some other, because remember this is key features, some other facts about it. The x and y intercepts, oh, they're both 0. The graph is increasing for all values in the domain f, so that's where that curve slopes upward. So both of these points that you're seeing in these two sentences are, you already wrote those down, so you're good. All right, so let's practice this a little bit. So draw a coordinate plane because you're going to graph this. Make your own table of values. It says for the try it, graph the function. What are the intercepts, the domain, and the range of the function? So go ahead, pause the video, hit play, and see if you get the same answer as me. All right, so first things first, and you might see this behind you. It looks paused on my end. Okay, we're moving. So p of x equals negative square root of x. I'm going to make that bigger so you can just see me. Okay, so I've got my x values. And notice what x values I pick. I'm looking here, it's a negative square root of x. So I want numbers that are perfect squares under here. So I picked 0, 1, 4, and 9. And yeah, I could have picked more, but it's unnecessary. Look at the graph I was needing to draw. So the negative square root of 0. Well, square root of 0 is 0, and negative 0 is still 0. Negative square root of 1. Square root of 1 is 1, and negative times the negative is -1. Square root of 4 is 4 times the -1 is -2. And the square root of 9 is 3 times the negative is -3. So I have these points to plot. 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 9, 3. I'm sorry. 0, 1, -1, 4, -2, 9, -3. So I'm going to switch us back so you can see me and the graph. So now 0, 0 is there, but this point is not there. I could do 4, but it's at what, -2? Let me make sure. Let me look. 4, -2. That's right. Okay, so does it still look the same? It's kind of that top of that R, but upside down. And that's interesting. There's a negative in front. It's like our A value, how it flipped that quadratic function upside down. Same idea. So my x-intercept, let's start with that. X-intercept, that's 0. Y-intercept, and these are all the points you need to have. That's also 0. My domain, my x values. X has to be greater than or equal to, I don't have that. Oh, it did it. Great. Then 0. My range, my y values are below. So my f of x or y, this is p of x, has to be less than or equal to 0. That's where that starting point is, right? That maximum point. I'm going to write it. Maximum point, 0, 0. Whoop, there we go. And did I do all the things? Intercepts, domain, range, and I even wrote the maximum point, so a little better. And now let's check the answer and see if I did okay. The x and y intercept is 0, 0, the domain and the range, and look, the domain x is greater or equal to 0. Yeah, that's what I put, and the range is less than or equal to 0. That's what I put. Sweet. All right, one more to do. So I've got q of x this time is the square root of now x divided by 10. So I want to think about what numbers make a table of values. Pause the video, hit play when you're done. So again, if you look here, let's make it large. If you look here, I have my q of x. Q of x equals the square root of x over 10. I picked 0 because 0 divided by 10 is 0. Square root of 0 is 0. I picked 10 because 10 divided by 10 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. And I picked 40 because 40 divided by 10 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So I was very particular about which ones I picked, and I hope that you understand how to do that, and you'll do the same thing. So I have these points 0, 0, 10, 1, and 42. So I'm going to have to zoom out in order to plot this. There we go. So I have 0, 0 already plotted, 10, 1. So that's right here. And then just a couple of things. My x-intercept, x and y-intercept. So I'll put intercepts, 0, 0. Domain, okay, it has to be all x values that are greater or equal to 0. Range values, all values that are same, but now it's what, q of x has to be greater or equal to 0 as well, all those y values. And there's my answer. Yay, I did it. And that's a minimum of 0, 0. All right, awesome stuff.